part 2 of Parity Rules. We got about 5 minutes here to finish the NFC. I went through the AFC. But what am I doing here again? What am I trying to prove? What's the point? Trying to prove that if you think, here's the, I can say it in a nutshell, if you think, well, Jets are a rotten team, and oh man, Pittsburgh, they made the play, they're a great team. If you think that Pittsburgh is way better than the Jets, you're not paying attention is what my point is. Are the Pittsburgh Steelers better than the Jets? Of course. Did they have a better season? Of course, a much better season. I'm just trying to point out that don't look at it like if the Jets were 11-5 next year and Pittsburgh goes down to 6-10, would you be surprised? You should not be surprised. Pittsburgh, by the way, of course, they don't have the defense that they used to have. Again, strong offense. Definitely a strong offense, but defense is getting better. They got some young guys that have been risen in talent, but let's not make this huge difference between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jets, who have been miserable for 40 years, kind of, have that losing culture. But again, more talent than you think. NFC, the East is easy. Giants, Eagles, Redskins, Cowboys, all 4 of them could have won the division this year. Even the Eagles have the best defense of those 4. The Eagles, and with the surprise of how Wentz did, certainly could have been 11-5, and certainly could be 11-5 with Jim Schwartz running that defense very well, and the way Wentz played. It was just a couple of breaks here and there that didn't allow them to win that division. Redskins, Giants, so again, they could easily win 9-10 games, or could easily win 5 games, 6 games. We go to Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina, Atlanta. Again, all 4 of them, including New Orleans, who, again, has trouble getting a defense together with Drew Brees there. They can have a dominant offense and win 11 games, just like Atlanta won 11 games this year with a dominant offense. Again, I did point out Atlanta made some plays on defense, got certainly picked up on the turnovers and creating turnovers in the second half, and had a nice pass rush. But come on, again, would you be surprised if Atlanta goes back down to 8-8 next year? I wouldn't. You shouldn't. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Tampa, a team on the rise. And we go to Minnesota, Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago. Now, if you want to call Chicago a bad team, okay, I don't think so. I think it's more of a 6-win, 5-win type team, talent. And Minnesota, like I said, could easily win the Super Bowl next year. They get Teddy back. They get maybe AP, depending on where AP ends up. Get their offensive line back after injuries. And the defense is very strong. Detroit Lions, with Jim Bob Cooter there, that offense, suddenly Matthew Stafford became a much better quarterback. I give a lot of that credit to Jim Bob Cooter and his offensive calling. The defense, up and down. Again, they could win 6 games, they could win 10 games. Of course, the Packers, up and down. We didn't show much defense, but with Aaron Rodgers there, obviously could win 11 or they could win 8. We go to the final division, Seattle, Arizona. Certainly those 2. Seattle wasn't as dominant defensively, but and had Russell Wilson limited, kept him in the pocket. I think that made a big difference. Don't think he's that great a pocket passer as everyone makes him out to be. That's a SALT production from last year on Salty Peppers. Check that one out. And you got, so the only other bad team in the league is San Francisco. Rams really are an 8-8 talent. Everyone was picking them to win. A lot of them were picking them to win 10. I said, no, that'll be their usual 8. They didn't even get to that. They got to 4. But it remains to be seen what Goff will give you. They do have defensive talent there. What's going to be with the new coach. So again, anybody could rise to be. And I don't mean the idea of any given Sunday. I mean every given Sunday. The teams, there's not that much of a talent between teams 3 and 29 or 3 and 30. That's a SALT production. We're going to keep it right there.